Yeah, I've just sent you the invitation. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, hello.
Yay! Finally, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Do I have to have
Ah,
do I have to have earphones on?
no, no, it's okay. Your voice is fine. What about mine? I don't know because the last time I had a live with this thing over here, I think it was not so good. But can you hear me very well?
I can hear you very well. Yes. Can you hear
Oh
me?
yeah. Okay. Yeah, perfectly, perfectly.
Okay.
Well, thanks for joining me.
Thank you
And
for inviting me.
yeah, wow, it's been a long time since we last talked. I guess maybe a year. I guess.
Since we last saw each other, yes. But since we last talked,
Yeah.
like maybe 5 hours or so.
That's right. But since we last saw each other. Hmm.
Yeah, like a year before hell broke loose and pandemic and COVID. I think that was like a good year before we saw each other, yes.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. How have you been?
I've been great. How have you been?
Yeah, I've been great too. And although we are, like a prisoner, like an inmate in a cage, I'm doing
Mm.
fine. Yes, it's funny because I was talking to my wife yesterday, and she said, "Boy, it's Friday tomorrow." I said, "Yeah, that's the feeling. It's pretty much like being in a cage and you don't even know what day it is."
Oh my God. Yeah, it's kind of like that, especially because every day is the same. There's
Yeah,
not, much to do, and then just the routine is even you
mhm.
can feel it even more like a routine.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, I just want to take a quick break here,
Mhm.
just to tell the guys that are watching us, thank you very much for watching us. If you want to ask questions, we're going to open for questions in a while, but as for now, please don't send any messages because um, I will set up a time for us to get the questions and so that we can answer, or maybe you can answer the questions. All right.
And I've
Um,
never done this. Like this is literally the first time I do this. I don't even know when the questions will like pop up. So
no, no problem. I can do that stuff. It's those are the ropes, and I am pretty much a little bit more familiar, maybe. And
mhm.
just let me. I've sent some students an email telling a story, telling how I met you, but I don't
Really?
know that. Yeah, really, really. Yeah, I pretty much remember the first day I saw you at Wizard School.
Mhm.
I went into the room and I saw a girl with a jeans jacket, and I think that you were wearing, if I'm not wrong, you were wearing a Led Zeppelin t-shirt.
Yeah, probably. That's the only shirt I would wear at that age, like literally. I think I had two of the same shirt, and that was like my outfit for every day.
Your outfit for every day.
Mm.
Are you still a big fan of Led Zeppelin?
Still, yes, you can never stop being a fan of Led Zeppelin. It's just something
Yeah,
that happens in your
it's
life, and
true.
it's yeah.
Yeah. And then the impression I had was like, wow, that girl likes Led Zeppelin. Yes, I have good company here in the classroom. There were a bunch of boys, a bunch of teenagers. You were a teenager as well, but you seemed more like, like I don't know the term to define that you were like, yeah, all zen, or I don't know if I can use that expression.
Yeah, it's
And
totally
then when
okay.
you Yeah, and then when you started talking, I thought to myself, wow, she speaks very much above, she stands out above the others, and her English is awesome. And I don't know if you remember, I can say that here because um, I'm not working there anymore, but do you remember the day I went up to you and I said, look, go somewhere else. This place is not for you. Your English is awesome.
I don't
You don't have
remember
to
that
stick
actually.
around.
I
No, you
really
don't?
don't. Did that really
I
happen?
do. That really happened. And I said to you, just move on, you know, get out of the school, go somewhere, get a better school, or I know, not a better school itself, but a better course, or travel, go somewhere, you know. And then it was exactly what you did after some years when you went to the United States. Can you
And then
tell us?
I did travel. But the thing I'd like to say though is that I agree with you when it comes to like the method and that some people can actually do better learning in different ways. I mean,
Mhm.
I like Wizard. I have a lot of like, gratitude for everything I learned there. But
Yeah, me too.
I think that what makes a huge difference is the teacher. And I remember after my first class with you, I remember coming home and telling my mom like I wouldn't be able
Uh,
to tell if he was Brazilian or not because you were the first English teacher that I had that actually talked like an American person would because
uh,
I felt like you always took so much more in consideration than like just the vocabulary or just grammar. You had a lot of like culture involved in the process of teaching.
mhm,
For me, that made especially music because you like music. You're a musician, right? And so you kept bringing
uh-huh,
music into your classes, and that just made
mhm,
me excited about learning and about maybe pushing myself a little further than I was, at my language
mhm,
speaking, like abilities
mhm,
and everything. So yeah, I think
mhm,
that even when the method kind of sucks, the
mhm.
teacher can make it work, and that's what you did for me. So thank you.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. And then I do remember also that I think that you took more 2 semesters right after that, and I don't think I was your teacher for the rest of those semesters. But I learned a couple of months later that you were going to the United States. I think that you traveled to the United States. Tell us, share with everybody here, where have you been to in the U.S. you lived in? Uh, Please
Boston.
refresh my mind. I'm getting old.
Okay, so
Boston.
I that's actually I
Mm,
was trying to remember that, but I do think I went after I came back from my trip, I went back to
uh-huh.
visit for two like other semesters. I'm not sure, but I do think that happened. So
Hmm.
anyways,
Oh yeah, I think
um
so.
I was 18. Yeah, I was 18 and still studying English at Wizard, but then I also
Hmm.
joined college, right? And then at the end of the year, that was my first year in college. And then at the end of the year,
Hmm.
I had an opportunity to go on this exchange program. And
Hmm.
then I just went there and they give me a lot of options, like the babysitter ones that everyone does. I didn't like those
Hmm.
much, and then they gave me this option of this exchange program where I would work.
Hmm.
I'd work
Hmm.
for 6 hours a day. And I
Hmm.
like that. I was like, well, that is going to be challenging because like not only I've never lived alone, I lived with my parents at that time. I'm going
Hmm.
to live by myself, I'm going to move to a different country, and I'm going to have to work in that country. So that is going to be a lot of
Hmm.
for me to learn. And then I chose that one, right?
Hmm.
And I ended up working at a bookstore inside of a university.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and that was in Boston. Um, and we just had it was kind of like it was like a not a community college, but it was like a more accessible college, right?
Hmm.
And there were people from all over the world, not only Americans. There were people from a lot of
Hmm.
people from India, China, just everywhere you can think of.
Hmm.
And that was a huge experience for me because I was dealing with the American culture that's very different from our
Hmm.
Brazilian culture, and also we have a lot of references of what it's like,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
but it's when you're actually there, it's very different. And then not only that, I had to deal with like customers from like say India. They speak English, but their ways are
Mhm.
very different. And then it was just a big, improvement in my life. I grew so much.
Mhm.
Then yeah, after I came back, I still studied English a little more.
Mhm.
And then I graduated from Wizard.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but it
You,
was
you
just
you said
good.
something interesting about the thing that is you had already studied English a lot. You were very much familiar with the American culture because of the sitcoms. Because you've been, you've always been a big fan of Friends, right?
Yes.
And then
I knew you were
yeah,
going to
and
bring that up.
yeah, because I was surprised the other day that I was checking your Facebook and I saw somebody comparing you to Jennifer Aniston because I've always found you,
Yeah.
the resemblance was really obvious to me as well. And yeah, not only that, but I felt like even the way you talk sometimes it sounds like Rachel Green, from Friends. So part of the how much did watching sitcoms contributed for you to be not so much like a fish out of the water when you were there in Boston?
A lot. Um, I mean, like music, sitcoms, and
Hmm.
movies were everything to me in my learning process because like
Hmm.
literally like I love English and I love speaking English, but how it started for me was because like I liked American music a lot and
Hmm.
I wanted to understand what they were singing. And then I would just
Hmm.
and that was like when I was really young. I was like 8 or 9, and
Hmm.
then I would just grab my little dictionary because there wasn't internet. Like there was internet, but I
Uh-huh.
didn't have it at my house. So I'd grab my little dictionary
Uh-huh.
and try to translate it. And a lot of the
Hmm.
times I wouldn't find the words and the expressions because you know that was that little
Hmm.
Michaelis like the
I
music
remember.
one.
I
Yeah.
I had one.
Exactly. And then at one
Mhm.
point, didn't want to just translate it. I wanted, when I was singing or just, singing
Mhm.
along songs,
Sing
I
along.
wanted to
Yeah.
sound like them. I wanted to sound like them.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I was like I have, I've studied music, so like, don't mean to
Hmm.
brag or anything, but I have a pretty good ear for that. And so
Yeah.
I wanted to like, yeah, Travis is like, I wanted to I wanted
Okay.
to mimic those sounds, right? And then when I would watch like Friends, I love Friends. I still watch it to this day.
Hmm.
I would try to like Rachel would say something, I would pause and try to say it the way she said it.
Exactly the way she
And
said
then
it.
I would
Hmm.
just and then I would try to like because I watched the episodes over and over again, like 10 times the same episode.
Uh-huh.
And then I would memorize the dialogues. And then I would try to
Uh-huh.
like talking to myself in the shower, I would try to like reproduce those dialogues, and that's pretty much it. And so
Uh-huh.
that's why I think it's very important to have something you like a lot,
Hmm.
for
Hmm.
reference in a language you're trying to learn. Not only English, it could be
Hmm.
any.
Hmm. Great. I have a challenge for you. I
Hmm.
have prepared a little surprise. It's,
Shit.
it was here right on my cuff. Yeah, seriously. I have this game from a partner. Actually, this person such a blessing in my life.
Hmm.
And the she gave me a box of a lot of games from Play to Learn. It's not possible to see because it's going to be reversed here. Play to Learn.
Hmm.
It's a teacher from Sorocaba. Yes, Marcia Cristina. And this game is about it's conversation cards. It's pretty much like a role play. And then
Oh,
I have here a card with the situation. And the place is, it's going to be a role play, all right? The
okay.
place is a lawyer's office. The action is discussing the case. The characters are a lawyer and a client. And the compliment is that the client is guilty. but with a little detail. The lawyer has to be played in Rachel Green's style. Do you think you can do that?
No, but okay. Since you've already set this up, what can I do?
Okay. All right. So let's think it over because yeah, I'm guilty of
Wait, I'm the
okay,
lawyer?
I don't want to be a criminal. It could be a misdemeanor or something. Give me an example of a misdemeanor in the US because you've been there
I
and
don't know, Trevi. What is he's a
a
I don't
misdemeanor.
know that. Okay, so
Mhm.
for people who are watching, um, my husband is American, and
Mhm.
he's committed one of those. And I just he
Oh, really?
after we were already married, he's like, well, I've been to jail once. And I'm like, what the fuck?
He's been to
But
jail.
he was actually hitchhiking. Hitchhiking
So he
is
was hitchhiking.
yeah, and apparently you can't do that in some places in the US. So you
Oh,
were hitchhiking.
really? You can't hitchhike
No, he had to
in
actually
some places.
go to like jail and just stay there for like some hours, right? Yeah, he had
Man.
to stay there for some hours, and I was like, "What the fuck? I married a criminal." Yeah, but yeah, that's what
Yeah.
he did, and I think that's what you should. That should be your crime
Okay.
too.
Okay, yeah, okay, pretty much like that. Yeah, I hitchhiked. I was hitchhiking from Saginaw and Pittsburgh. I was coming from Pittsburgh, and then I think he knows this place is done, doesn't he?
He's like,
Yeah. Okay. Well, the thing is, yeah. All right.
and I'm the
I know I'm
liar. I'm the
guilty, but
liar.
is
Right.
there? Yeah, you're the lawyer. I know I'm guilty, but is there a way of getting away with that?
I'm not sure, but we can always go to like Bloomingdale's and get a Chanel number 5, a new one for you. That's gonna make you feel better.
What are you talking about?
It's just hitchhiking. There are way more important things in life. We have to go
Oh,
shopping, for instance.
okay, but I'm kind of broke now. I
Oh,
can't
my
afford
dad is
buying
rich.
anything.
I can lend you some money.
No, okay. And how much is that going to cost me?
I don't know, like $1,000 maybe.
But what about the court?
Well, can we just
Yeah,
skip that?
skip the court. But
Yeah.
I've got the letter here from the court. Well, how am I going to skip the court because I've got the letter? I'm not going to be running away from court.
I don't know. We
Come
can
on.
maybe take them to like Central Park, offer them a little cup of coffee.
Oh, come on. What kind of lawyer are you?
Not a lawyer, actually.
Yeah, it's so hard, isn't it, to
Yeah,
role
it
play
really
like
is.
that and to improvise because, did you really feel like, okay, I'm Rachel Green talking. I didn't even know who I was exactly, but whenever you
No.
are, you said something really interesting.
Mhm.
When you went to the shower, you started like repeating the lines and trying to imagine that you were Rachel Green, the character.
Mhm.
Um, for many years in my life, I did the same with a lot of actors. For example, I did that with Mel Gibson. I was talking to a friend of mine today, and I do remember there is a very good movie that I love that movie, What Women Want, with Mel Gibson. And there is this beautiful scene, this very funny scene that Mel Gibson is, I think he's a guy in charge of the advertisement in the company, like the marketing and publicity department in the company,
Mhm.
cosmetics stuff. And then they hire a new advertiser, which is Helen Hunt. And he's a prick chauvinist and very sexist guy. And, he's a dumbass, actually. And then this girl shows up in town in the company trying to change the whole stuff. And then he gets very uncomfortable because he thinks he is the best, he's the best man in the world. And then there is this girl that he always goes to a coffee shop and he is always flirtatious with that girl, which is played by Marisa Tomei, and
Ooh.
they have sex. But after the accident, that he's able to hear what women are thinking, and
Mm-hmm.
he has sex, but it's so hard for him to have sex with her because he can hear everything she is thinking, including about his performance, and it's so freaking
Okay.
hard.
That
And
would
then he
that would
disappears.
that would be tough.
I think that no man who would make it,
Men or
no
women?
man,
Yeah.
no man would be able to make it if they could really hear what women are thinking in the sex time. Okay, so he disappears after some time because he get interested in the other girl, and there is this scene that he is coming back home and he's about to step into in the lobby, and Marisa Tomei is there. Her name is Lola, and she's there waiting for him, and she says, "Nick, where have you been, Nick?" And then he says, "Oh, I was gonna call you. I'm sorry, Nick. What you can't disappear like that, Nick. We had this wonderful time. We had wonderful sex, and then you simply disappear. Nick, come on. What's wrong with you?" Yeah, and then he says, "Oh, okay, Lola. I was gonna call you, but come on, Nick. I know your secret. You don't need to tell those guys that anymore." "Oh, you do?" "Yeah, I know your secret." "Oh, yeah. Oh, what do you mean?" "Yeah, Nick. Come on, Nick. It's obvious. Come on, Nick. Everybody knows you're gay." "Am I gay?" And he says, uh, "Really? Come on, Nick. Of course you're gay. Come on, you touched me the way I wanted. You did everything I wanted. You talk like a woman. You thought like a woman. You
There's no
think like
way.
a woman. You touch me like a woman would do. Come on, Nick. Admit it. You were gay." "No, no, Nick. Come on. Tell me you were not gay." "No, no. Please don't tell me that." "Okay, Nick. Come on. Put me out of my misery." And then he is apparently very much conflicted about admitting that he's gay. And then he says, "Okay, I'm gay." And then she says, "Ah, yes, thank you."
Did you just keep practicing? Did you keep practicing that whole dialogue with
I
yourself in
kept
the shower?
practicing. Yes, exactly. I kept practicing both sides, the Marisa Tomei's lines and also Mel Gibson's line, because I love this interaction. It was pretty much like a game. The actors playing like a game, and it
Mhm.
was very nice. And when he says, "Okay, I'm gay," and she says, "Ah, come on. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, Nick, I hope you make a guy happy one day." And he says, "All right. Thank you."
Oh
And
man.
then he says, uh, "No," and then she asks something like this, "Okay, how much?" And then he says, "As gay as it gets."
As gay can be.
As gay as it gets. So these expressions, like "as good as it gets," "as gay as it gets," I've learned those things from movies and sitcoms, but not only that, but the way they talk, the intonation and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
And I could notice that we were talking a couple of hours ago, I guess, like some 12 hours maybe. And you said something interesting in the audio. You sent me a WhatsApp uh, about the not only speaking English, but since you're married with an American guy now, what is exactly this guy's mindset in terms of culture? How different is it? For example, it's a crossing. We are crossing two different cultures: a Brazilian woman and an American guy.
Mm-hmm.
So you are both united because you guys speak English,
Exactly.
but you don't speak English like he does, and you were not raised the way he was. So what is this? What is it like, this culture crossing thing?
Um, so it was crazy because like first we met because we were both interested in learning. he was interested in learning Portuguese, and I was actually trying to teach in Italki, help people learning
Mm-hmm.
English, but also just practicing a little more. And then
Mm-hmm.
started talking, right? And then we talked for like many, many months, I think 9 months before he came to Brazil for the first time. And then we actually
Mm-hmm.
started dating. Um, but it's a very okay, so online, when you're talking to someone online, you don't see as many cultural like barriers because you're literally only,
Mm-hmm.
but on the everyday life, that's when you start getting some, I wouldn't say like troubles, but it's like,
Mm-hmm.
there are things that you need to talk about. So it's not only and Travis he's really good about this. I'm not. And he's always the one who's like,
Mm-hmm.
we need to work on our communication because
Whoop,
it's when you have
had
like,
a little lag here. Mm-hmm.
you there?
Okay, we're
There.
back. There
Okay.
was a little lag.
So when you have like two different cultures like this, it's not only
Mm-hmm.
knowing how to speak each other's language, because he does speak Portuguese too, but it's about other types of communication, right? So you have
Mm-hmm.
to understand like sometimes the way I speak would sound rude to an American, right? That's a thing, that's a real thing. And then sometimes we're
Mm-hmm.
like having a conversation and I say something and I'm not like even trying to be mean or he's not trying to be mean or anything because like if he says something and it doesn't and I don't get it the way he means it
Mm-hmm.
because of like the intonation, for example.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes his intonation for me as a Brazilian is kind of rude and the opposite too.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
in the US, it would be completely normal, it would be like an everyday conversation. So um,
Mm-hmm.
it's a matter of like trying to understand and just being open. You have to be really open to have a relationship with someone, from another, sometimes not
Mm-hmm.
even the country. Like in a country like Brazil, for you to understand like someone from the Northeast, for example, and someone from
Mm-hmm.
those are very different cultures, and you have to be open and just
Yeah.
focus
Mm-hmm.
on communication, not only the words you're saying, but everything, the way your
Mm-hmm.
body moves, your, facial expressions. So
Mm-hmm.
it's been something that we've been working on just constantly.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, if I'm feeling a little bit like bothered by something that he did or something that he said, I just have to like be chill and be like, listen,
Mm-hmm.
you said that in that way, and to me that sounded a little bit like, I didn't like it. It made me kind of sad. So like next time you
Mm-hmm.
have that kind of conversation, if you could just say
Mm-hmm.
it in a different way, because that's not what I'm used to. And the same
Mm-hmm.
with
Mm-hmm.
him. And he would always, he's actually the one who does that like most of the time, because I'm more
Mm-hmm.
like a quiet person. And
Mm-hmm.
he's quiet too, but he's really into like, we need to speak, we need to understand each other. And I think that's,
Uh-huh.
yeah, if
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of the success in our relationship right now is his fault.
Uh-huh. Nice, nice. Okay. So would you please tell him that I really would like to have him live one day, and if he would accept,
He's
is
like,
there? He's
he
right
said yes,
right
he
next
said
to you,
yes.
isn't he?
Yeah, come here.
Oh man,
Come on.
my
Thumbs
makeup.
thumbs up.
I
Yeah.
do my makeup.
Just pick your head in and say hello, Travis.
How's it going, man? Cool.
Hey, what's up, man? Miss
Nah,
you, buddy. How you doing?
one second. I'm gonna just a minute.
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
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 Okay,
So
back to me.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. I feel so happy because somehow I was the guy that introduced you, italki, and then you were able to find Travis, and you guys were able to meet each other there. I'm so glad, so happy. Seriously.
Yeah, me too.
It
Every
was-
time I'm like,
Mhm.
sometimes I think about it and I'm like, I owe him one. Like, I want at least a beer.
No, come on. You owe me nothing. Come on, come on. It's a huge pleasure.
If it
Okay,
weren't for you,
so
like, seriously, I wouldn't even know about italki.
yeah, that's it. But okay, so we were supposed to actually. I didn't want to take long because I know that these lives on Instagram sometimes might be boring because at this time everybody is live. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I really would like to have another one because I don't want this live, as I said previously, to be a big thing, a big, very long stuff because I'm going to post it on YouTube as well. And we're action. Yes, we're having a little trouble with the connection.
Okay.
And
I think it's
I'd,
okay.
I'd like to have a second time with you so that we could talk more about the Hashimoto disease, which is very interesting. I'd like to invite some other people from the health departments to watch this. People who are learning English, studying English, but would like to study specifically something about the disease. And another one just for us to talk about makeup, because I'd like you to teach me how to make up myself.
Oh my God. That would be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously. I really would love to have that because, I've got these stains now on my skin and I don't know what's going on. Maybe yeah, seriously, I'm getting old and that's why I have these stains. And I'd like to know if there is a treatment or if there is anything that can reduce the stains. Can you help me, please?
There are treatments and they're usually expensive, at least kind of expensive because you have to go to a doctor and you get the proper like lasers, treatments, all that kind of things that you do on your face. And that's not like something I know a lot about because it's literally like doctors, but you can cover that up with makeup. And that's
it's
usually
something you don't. It's okay. Connection problems again. Connection again. Yeah. So it's something that you don't know a lot because you have this perfect skin, right?
It's a lot of makeup.
Nah, it's not a lot of makeup. I know you.
No. I cannot complain about my skin. But there are like I always say, like makeup, you have to have a very healthy relationship with it to the point where you're not trying to hide who you are, but you're just trying to like enhance what you think is beautiful on your face, on your body, anywhere where you want to apply makeup. And so I think that for a lot of people, like, a lot of people have, because of like the type of weather we have in Brazil, it's a very sunny and people are exposed all the time. And so eventually people get, little spots like you have on your face. I have one of those too right here.
Yeah.
And I always cover it up. And it just sometimes it just makes you feel more confident. And then I'm like, why not? Why not play with makeup a little bit? And so, hiding something like that is really easy. You need like 2 or 3 products to hide it. And and then you just get porcelain doll skin.
All right. But I really would like to talk to you about that in our further lives if you please accept, because you're my special guest forever. Seriously, you and your hubby, my special guest, including we have podcasts together. You and I have podcasts with Travis as well. I think that I made 2 podcasts. I used his voice in one of them, which is so really cool. And I just
with that.
Yes, I use. I use your voice without previous consent. Yeah.
Sure.
Thank God you were a very understanding person. Understanding.
It
Can I
was
say
really
that?
fun.
Understanding person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So, what are you doing for a living right now?
So right now, nothing. I mean, I'm employed because I work at the Marriott Hotel, right?
Marriott Hotel. Hmm.
And I work in the events department, but because of the pandemic, most of us are still at home. So the hotel is,
Go home.
yeah, the hotel is back to like working, and there are some people working there, but it's just a few people just to like,
Hmm.
just so it's still open. Um,
Hmm.
but since we still don't know where we're gonna have like big events and everything, which is what I do for a living. We're still at home right now, and just
Hmm.
waiting for them to call us back to work. But that's pretty much what's happening.
Hmm.
So yeah, I just try to like keep up with the news as much as possible. But seriously, we really don't have an idea of when things are
Hmm.
going to, if they ever going to go back to what is
Hmm.
normal in my work
Hmm.
routine. Um,
I see.
yeah, right now I just like stress over those things, and I'm losing my
Mhm.
mind about homeschooling and online classes with,
Homeschooling.
yeah,
Yeah. So hard, isn't it?
it's really
It's
hard.
really hard for kids.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. She's 6 years old, right? She's in the first grade, and it's
Mhm.
challenging. I'm gonna say that it's challenging for
Yeah,
me and
it
for,
is.
because
Yeah,
I'm not a
it is.
trained teacher, so it's like,
Yeah, that's right. Okay, Mariana, since our time is up over here, thank you once again so much for
for inviting
being.
me, and just tell me when, and we do more lives.
Okay,
Now that I've
okay.
done one, I kind of like it, so I'm like,
Uh-huh. Thank you so much. Big hug to your hubby over there. And Cecilia, right? You have a little daughter called Bye-bye, Cecilia. Bye-bye,
Bye, bye,
Travis.
bye, bye. It was good seeing you. Have a good night.
Good to see you, man. Tarzan. There you go. Thanks so much. Bye-bye, Mariana.
bye
Thank you.
bye.